One of a Kind with Rob Van Dam is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
Rob Van Dam! Rob Van Dam! Rob Van Dam!
I'm Rob Van Dam. The whole show.
Hey, what's up, gang? It's One of a Kind with RVD, and it's DPD. That's Dominic DeAngelo. I am here to tell you a little bit that Rob has had such a busy week. He's been all over the map, and so I came up with another idea. I work for the IWC, not the Internet Wrestling Community. I am a dirt sheet writer, but it's the International Wrestling Cartel out of Pittsburgh. And it so happens that I was at the event this past weekend, and I do commentary for it. My degenerate brother Marcus is part of the roster. He is the IWC High Stakes champion. But I figured, why not interview a couple people while I'm there and get their thoughts and the legacy on the legacy of RVD. That included my brother. That included a young up-and-coming star, a very young up-and-coming star, in Jay Bev. So you'll get to see him a little bit, and you'll get a referee's perspective. Joe Mandek, who's been a veteran referee in the greater Western Pennsylvania area for quite a while, he actually refereed a match between RVD and Sabu, so he's got a great story to share too. Not only that though, but I am going to dig up the first ever interview I ever did with Rob Van Dam. This was before he knew me, before we formed this podcast, anything like that. So this is like years before. I believe 2021 or 2020. It was when Rob was promoting Headstrong, and I worked for WrestleZone at the time. So that audio will be available to you to listen to today too. So enjoy this, and Rob and I will be back, God willing, next week here.
Hey everybody, this is Dominic DeAngelo of WrestleZone.com, and I am happy to have here with me today Rob Van Dam, who's going to be with Impact Wrestling during the TV tapings here September 5th and the 6th in his backyard of Las Vegas. Rob, thanks for joining me today, brother.
Right on, dude. Here's my voice, so they know you're not lying.
Right, yeah, thanks, man, thanks. I know, I need that cleared up. Something I noticed too, before we get into it, you posted something on Twitter a while back, and it was in regards to, I think it's your garage door you got painted with the flamingo on it, right? The Flamingo Casino?
Yeah, this is inside my gym. Yeah, the house that I have has a few garages in it, and I had a 1-2-car garage with a pit in it made into my gym, and it's awesome. And that's a painting that I had. There's a very well-known painter around here that I think is probably on his way up to being a big star. He painted a huge mural downtown at off of Fremont Street at what's that called down there where the nerd bar is? Indianapolis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, same dude. We my girlfriend Katie Forbes knew him from the gym, and we had him paint portraits of us with the Vegas background behind. So I went with Flamingo because of the history with the Bugsy Siegel and everything.
Yeah, dude. A couple of months ago for like Double or Nothing when I was down there for like StarCast and everything, and I that's my first big experience in seeing the Flamingo. I was like, damn, that's like where Bugsy Siegel and all that stuff happened. It's such a neat looking casino in general too. So yeah, that's awesome that you got that one painted on there.
If you probably don't care to know this, but Bugsy Siegel gets a lot more credit than he deserves because of the movie Bugsy with Warren Beatty. They have him out with Mickey Cohen looking at an empty desert saying, "Can you just picture it? Can't you imagine it?" But it wasn't like that at all. The Flamingo was already in construction. It was another guy. Oh man, I just blanked on his name. The guy that he owned the Trocadero in Hollywood, and anyway, yeah, I'd be surprised if you knew his name. But I'm gonna interrupt your next question in the middle and say, oh, this is his name. But anyway, this guy ran out of money. He went looking for money to finish his project, and that's when the mob came in and kind of squeezed him out.
No,
Billy Wilkerson. Billy Wilkerson.
Oh, is that who it is?
I'm a bit of a history buff in certain areas. Mafia history is my niche.
What other aspect? So what's your favorite mob movie or anything like that? Do you have one in particular that stands out to you?
Casino is my favorite. I'm really into nonfiction. I enjoy the fiction, like The Godfather. Those are great movies, but I really dive into nonfiction because it repeats itself because it's part of actual history. So even if I read, many different books and watch many different documentaries, a lot of the same facts or different versions of the same stories will keep popping up because history's, threaded through our society because that's who we are, right?
Absolutely, man. Is there a certain aspect of history that you really like studying besides like mafia and things like that too?
Well, like in high school, first it became about Greek mythology, and I totally geeked out in that. It was like, I went from comic books, which I knew was a fictional world, to Greek mythology, where I felt like, you know what, these people actually believed this.
Mm-hmm.
Like back in the day, they believed in all the Olympians, just like people believe in Jesus Christ, so it was real to them, and that fascinated me. And then I started comparing all the Greek mythology stories to the Bible, and so many of them are the same with a little twist. So I started thinking, well, that's interesting. How the same stories that go out and then make their way through different religions, although some of them might be the same story, but different ways. And I got into Hollywood history around 2009 when I had an office at Sunset Gower Studios filming Wrong Side of Town, and it was my Hollywood history intrigue that got me into mafia history because of Bugsy Siegel. He was a part of Hollywood history in the 30s, and in the early 40s he went over to Las Vegas.
Hell yeah, dude. That's like such a fascinating time period too. It's like so much different stuff, and like not only just like in Hollywood too, but yeah, over on the East Coast here with like all the guys like Capone and what have you. It's so much intriguing like cultures coming into play and everything. It's really, really cool to kind of like dive into that stuff. What's
people don't realize how much that secret government really has influence on our government. Like they don't even realize it till you get into it. I mean, there's certain crossovers into what we learn in history, like the JFK assassination, for instance, and but then when you really learn about how they corrupted so many politicians and still do, all the way up to the top, and talk about Nixon, and it's really interesting, and I think also what fascinates me, like I don't look up to these guys like heroes. People have offered to like sell me memorabilia. Like, dude, I got Sammy a gun autographed by Sammy the Bull. I'm like, keep it, dude. I don't want that.
I don't want that
energy. I don't want that energy in my house. I think part of the fascination is because they're so opposite for me. Because if I hit a squirrel with my car, I'm gonna pull over and cry. It's gonna ruin my day.
Oh,
these guys will whack their brother if the boss tells them to do it. No
right.
question.
Yeah. I feel you, man. So yeah, talk about impact of just being in your backyard at Sam's Town. It's happening. How's that feel to kind of just you're living in Vegas and then you're gonna like show up and maybe get in the squared circle or a little bit like that. Talk about how that dynamic goes. And how long have you been in Vegas for too, by the way?
Yeah, so Katie and I moved here to Las Vegas at the beginning of the year. I've been on my way here forever. I bought property out here in 2005 and had been renting it out and have collected more friends in Vegas than I had in LA, where I lived for the last 20 years. I always wanted to come here. It took divorcing from a 20-year marriage and selling off everything in that community life and turning a big chapter in my page for it to actually happen. But right now, this is such a rewarding time in my life to be RVD. I loved my house in LA, love my house in Vegas even more. It's even bigger and better. I love the weather here. I love the community. Everything is so close. Anything took a full day to get to go anywhere and back in LA, forget about it. You need all day. And here, no matter what I look up, it seems like it's 6 miles away. And I have all the privacy in the world. Like when you're in my paradise backyard, you wouldn't know where you're at because nobody can see it. It's completely private and it's so quiet. But you can just travel half a mile down the street and there's everything you'd ever want. I love it.
That's a great balance of things. Like, and yeah, being able to go into the city and then kind of, if you want to get the hell out of there, you have that option too. And that Nevada area is just so beautiful. It's like I've barely scratched the surface of it, but like when I was there for that little bit, I was like, damn, I just want to check out the surrounding areas of it all too. It's like,
yeah, and besides, you come to town and you party your ass off for 4 days and you leave, and then you say, oh my God, I could never live there. And I did that a lot of times too. But when you actually live here, at least for me, I don't want to be out drinking every night. I don't want to be in the smoky casinos that age age me 10 years every couple of days, you know. And so I enjoy going out. I'm mostly a homebody, but I like going out. There's so much to do here in Vegas, and there's areas that no one has ever seen. There's neighborhoods that have lakes in them, and I don't mean like way out there. I mean right on Sahara Avenue, like not far at all from the stratosphere. There's a whole neighborhood around this lake with big houses, lake houses. There's a lot of different areas where I'm like, nobody would ever know they're in Las Vegas right now if they were here.
Oh my God, yeah, it's such a cool, and it's becoming such a big wrestling town. It seems like that too. And what's it like kind of, you know, finding that comfort zone of living in a good area? But like, is it more of a motivator too to go out there and kind of like, I feel like locking up with somebody or getting a match in or anything like that? Has that been a big motivator for you too? And like, has it kind of opened you up for like, do you have anything like left on your wrestling bucket list as it may be?
As far as wrestling goes, this coming up will be officially 30 years since I've been wrestling professionally. That's a long time, and it's what I do. It's my job, and so that's the position that it has in my life is it's all business for me. So. Over the last few years, a lot of people in the States haven't seen me wrestle, but I've been wrestling 10 to 12 times a year. It's been overseas mostly because that's usually who can afford me. And I'm not priced to get out there 6 days a week because I sure as hell don't want that.
Sure,
you know?
right.
Always been working on doing less and making it mean more, and always been successful in that area. And right now, it's just great. The schedule that I have with Impact is very favorable, and they're very glad to have me there because they tell me, they try to get me on other shows if I'm not already on them, and the boys know that I'm making more money than them, everybody, but they tell me that they're so happy to have a dressing room with me, to share it with me, and some of them tell me they're wrestling because they grew up watching me and I inspired them, and so I get a lot of love and respect, and I also get a lot in the pocket. It's a really good thing. And Impact Wrestling is they have a hell of a show. Like watching what these guys are doing that grew up watching me. Rick Swan, Willie Mack, you know, all these guys. You know, Sammy Callahan's great. But when it comes to like the acrobatics and stuff, I mean, it's almost like you don't even know what you saw because you see so much. The Rascals, everyone's doing springboard, corkscrew. 15. It's so much different than it used to be when it was easy for me to stand out at one time, being the only person in a company that was doing anything out of the box, and now that's become the style. So it's cool. Everything has to evolve, and also because there's so many more organizations now. Every town has their own wrestling organization with a fan following that supports it, that wants to see it go places, and because of that, it's easier for people to get into the business. And because of that, you know, some of the strict fundamentals that are old school are watered down because people come in and it used to be about protecting the business. Now it's more about what could we do if we didn't have to protect the business, because the crowd thinks that they're smart to everything that's going on behind the curtain now, and so that's what you cater to. So things are like completely different. I don't have anything left except for just to keep cashing in on my name value where it can. I could retire anytime. That's I go with the flow, and I thought that maybe I would have been retired by now, but the more I talk about that, the more my value goes up. And I'm still in great shape, can still do everything I ever could do. I can split for you, do the backflip, any of that. But I don't feel like I have to keep pushing the envelope in that area. Now that other guys are doing all these flips, I don't feel like I need to get in there and do like a split-legged triple moonsault flip. RVD's a legend. The people always are going to scream for me, and when you put me up against the new guys, RVD wins every time when you listen to the people. So it's awesome. It's a place for everybody. I'm at the opposite side of the spectrum of my career, so no, I don't think about like any matches that I wish I could still have that I didn't have. I'm just an opportunist, and when a good opportunity comes my way, I appreciate it, I consider it, and quite often I do it.
And I tell you what, man, like I would remember going back too, just and watching some of your matches when like just right in the thick of like this newer kind of talent coming in, and like being like, man, I wonder how RVD's matches are gonna look to me now that I've seen all these other talents and everything like that. But going back and seeing it, I was like, dude, RVD's still that. Like you still stood out even after all this stuff, and it definitely speaks to what you were saying too of how like the star power of having that, and then going and just using your name, but also using your talent too, and just the complementary styles that these younger guys can bring. It provides a lot of like intriguing matchups and stuff like that. Like I'm excited to see you do more with these guys in Impact because they got a great amount of talent there, and you're going to be a great compliment to them, and I'm sure you're a big help to them too.
Yeah, well, I like to think so, and they certainly make me feel like I am, so I appreciate that. And, don't forget, we got Tommy Dreamer there, too, a fellow veteran. He's a ECW brother, so it's great to have him there. Sabu's there sometimes. In fact, I heard Sabu might be in Vegas. I don't know if that's a surprise.
Oh.
I'll keep it at that.
Yeah.
And we had Sandman for a little bit, which was that was real fun. I mean, it's like, come on, those are my classmates.
Right, those are your buddies. right.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. Is there anything you want to plug here before we let you go or anything?
Well, Ken Shamrock's also going to be here while we're talking about Impact to Vegas. That's a pretty big deal because Ken's a pretty big deal, and because, we haven't seen him in a while, I'm looking forward to him teaching Moose a few things because Moose is good, but he does have a few things to learn still. So, having said that, you can follow me at The Real RVD and watch my movie Headstrong. It's everywhere. You can find it. It's a documentary that I made that I want everybody to see for a lot of reasons. At first, because it's really personal. I'm proud of it. It turned out great. You'll get to know me like you never knew me before. But also, more recently, a new concern after a few of my friends have decided to end their lives. And over the years, that's happened so much. I'm really, really concerned now that we need to talk more about concussions, which I talk about a lot in Headstrong because I experience concussion symptoms and have to get them checked out while I'm filming. So I bring you with me for the ride and start wondering like, hey, let's see if I got this CTE. If so, what am I going to do? So it's very real and personal. But outside of the movie, it's something that I want to see us move past. They're talking about, the concussion symptom, long-term concussion damage. It can lead to depression and it can lead to suicide.
Yeah.
The NFL players, quite a few of my friends have gone out that way. And we've already had like 25 wrestlers that I know of this year that have died, and several of them are from that. And so that's a concern of mine is like, hey, they talk about things. They talk about stem cells helping. They talk about oxygen therapy. They talk about CBDs helping. But let's keep the conversation going, and let's figure out what to do so we can stop that from happening. I love life, and I don't want to over my brain and then, making decisions for me. And I also don't want that to happen to my friends. So that's pretty important to me.
That's a topic that remains so relevant today in wrestling particularly, and like football, all types of sports, and seeing that it really has to be at the forefront of people's minds when it comes to wrestling and playing it safe, and also you want to entertain the fans, but you also want to be safe about it too. So yeah, man, I feel you. Rob, thanks so much, brother. I really it's been awesome to talk to you, man, and I'm looking forward to seeing what more you do with Impact, and just to say how big of a influence you've been on my wrestling fandom is very understated. So thanks for the time, brother.
Awesome, man. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too. Take care.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about Get Blitzed. That's right. When Get Blitzed teamed up with WWE Hall of Famer, NWO founder, and movie star Kevin Nash, alongside his Click This podcast partner and kayfabe king Sean Oliver, Mickey Ray Sinatra and Courtney Sinatra weren't just slapping a name on a can. They were building a THC drink worth remembering. It couldn't be just another effing seltzer. So they made something smoother, faster, creamier, and absolutely legendary. That's right. It is such a good drink. You can get the Kevin Nash Key Lime Pie, and let's talk a little bit about that. They didn't just slap Kevin Nash's name on a can and call it a collab. Get Blitz has been supporting Click This, the Kevin Nash podcast, with the king of kayfabe commentaries himself, Sean Oliver, for almost 2 years now. They've been rocking with the Outsiders long before the drink dropped, so when the time came to create something together, it wasn't forced, it was fate. This is more than a partnership, it's a collision of legends. They teamed up with the 7-foot Oz-like icon himself and his longtime co-host Sean Oliver to make a THC drink that fans would actually feel, not some gimmick. It hits like a jackknife powerbomb, tastes like a lime cheesecake in a can. Creamy, citrusy, hard-hitting. You know what? Just too sweet. It was flavored and formulated by Mickey Ray Sinatra and Courtney Sinatra in a collaboration with Nash and Oliver. This isn't just branding, it's a handcrafted flavor experience built from the ground up. And we, at One of a Kind with RVD, have a special deal for our listeners. If you use promo code RVD, you can get yourself your own can of Get Blitz Lit Aid, the Kevin Nash Key Lime Pie, or the Sean Oliver Raspberry. Try that out too. There, if you want a little bit of details about what you get in a can, you get a 5 milligram real Delta-9 THC per can, hemp-derived and federally legal. Nano-emulsified, which hits you harder, with water-soluble THC for fast, smooth absorption. It's a 5 to 15 minute onset, no waiting, no guessing. It's a flavor that slaps. Backed by legends like Kevin Nash, Sean Oliver, and Not Cartoon Animals. Hey, it's also backed by RVD too. So like I said, give it a try. Go to get-blitz.com. Get-blitz.com. Use promo code RVD. Get 15% off. Try yourself one of those Get Blitzed cans, courtesy of Kevin Nash. All right, Dominic back here, RVDTV.com. One of a kind with RVD. RVD's not here today, but I'm here with some independent wrestlers, independent talent. IWC Always Ready, and I'm happy to be with here Mr. Joe Mandak, referee. Yes, sir. Good to have you here. You have some good stories, but share how you got kind of into the business, and if you had an ECW fandom early on, how was that for you? Like, how did you get into that?
Yeah, absolutely. Like anybody else, was a fan watching it. Went to my first independent wrestling show at the Monroeville Sports Complex. No barricade. Brandon Kay took a slide tackle, fell into me. I fell back into my chair, and from there I was like, yeah, this is kind of what I want to do. Obviously, was only 10, 11 years old at the time. So then, like anybody else, you find a reputable school, you get into it, you study, and you graduate from that school, and then you are thrown into it. I mean, hit the ground running. Unfortunately, my build at the time was not that of a professional wrestler. So I took some time off, took some time away, and came back in better shape, but in the stripes as an official. And you start gaining respect from individuals at different promotions. They're like, hey, Joe, I want you to ref my match. I want you to ref my match. And your reputation is one of the most important things to build in this business. And if you have people saying that they want you to do their matches, it's one of the best honors. So. And then the rest is just kind of history. I mean, like I said, one thing led to another, and here I am, IWC. It's been a beautiful ride.
Did you? Is there a certain match that really stands out to you that you like feel honored that you officiated or were a part of, and that, is it something that really is a highlight for you, or is there a moment maybe that really stands out to you that you really appreciated?
The Ring of Honor Pure tournament during COVID, I think it was one of the best products during that time period. I mean, no fans. People on screens get it, but ROH was running in empty buildings, but they ran the Pure tournament, and it was an absolute honor to be involved. Guys like Jay Lethal, Wheeler Yuta, Jonathan Gresham, I mean, you name it, the who's who of pure talented wrestlers. It was very humbling to be involved in that.
All right, talk about your ECW fandom now, Joe.
I mean, just like anybody else, DVDs, VHS, whatever you could get your hands on. If it was wrestling, I was trying to watch it. But oddly enough, you're talking about Rob Van Dam. First year into the company, I was fortunate enough to work with Big Time Wrestling. Main event, Rob Van Dam versus Sabu. R.I.P. Yeah. And I looked at the run sheet, and my name was next to the match. So obviously I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something I've watched time after time after time. But unfortunately, I had other matches, other obligations to do, helping with the ring, et cetera, et cetera. I didn't see them. When I say them, Rob Van Dam, Sabu, all day.
Yeah.
No idea what was going on. So I'm doing my matches, getting my finishes, et cetera, et cetera. I'm doing the match right before the main event. I don't know why it was scheduled that way, but it was. count to 3, do what I got to do. I actually took a ref bump, took a punch right before the main event. So I get to the back, and they're there. They're in their gimmicks, ready to go. And all I saw on the sheet was Rob Van Dam was over. That's all I knew. I figured they know what they're doing. I'm going to stay out of the way, be invisible. Went out there. They did their match, and they go to the outside, as per usual. And Rob Van Dam picks up a chair. Sabu grabs another chair, and they just start chucking them at each other. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to disqualify these guys, so I guess we're going to call it as an ECW-style match. Let them do their thing. I'll count to 1, 2, 3, and that'll be that. So again, just as a young kid watching these two go at it, watching them beat each other senselessly, tables, chairs, I mean, anything you can name that was in that match. And then roll Sabu in, Rob Van Dam gets to the top rope, 5-star frog splash, and I kind of get down there and I'm like, this it? He goes, this is it. 1, 2, 3, we take it home, raise his hand, let them do the spotlight, and that was that. So was very, very blessed, very fortunate to be able to call, be able to get that match. But again, yeah, I was nervous, didn't see them, didn't know anything that was going on, but figured they're pros, let them do their thing. I'll be there to count to 3, count 1, 2, 3. Easy stuff.
Heck yeah, man, that's great. What a great story that is, too. Anything you want to plug, too?
Nothing to plug, except sign Nick Brown. Gabe Sapolsky, Jason Ayers, anybody who's got some pull, whether it's WWE, AEW, ROH, referee Nick Brown, in my opinion, is one of the best on not just in the Pennsylvania area, in the country. I'll put him up against any other referee. Sign Nick Brown.
Nick's the man. You're the man, Joe. Thanks for doing this, brother.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
All right.
Boy, summertime is here. You know that song, Won't Go Jerry, in the summertime when the weather is hot? You can fit right in. Well, hey, guess what? You could fit right into a pair of perfect jeans. The perfect jean. Look at these babies. These are my favorite pair of jeans, and I am not lying. I do have pants on, by the way. I'm just showing these for the flair of it all, and I don't mean Rick. But yes, the perfect jean is awesome. I love their product. Seriously, no joke. This is the shoot. It is straight up my favorite pair of jeans I own. I want to get more. I need to get more. And hey, I can help you guys and gals get a little bit more too. So for a limited time, our listeners get 15% off their first order plus free shipping at theperfectjean.nyc or Google The Perfect Jean and use code RVD15 for 15% off. However you get there, but be sure to use code RVD15 at checkout to save 15% site-wide and stay perfect. The nice thing about these jeans, they're so high quality that you get free shipping. You get free exchanges. If the size doesn't fit, you must return, right? So use it. You seriously will not be disappointed, and you will be like, I kind of need to get a couple more pairs because these are great. No joke. I wear them anytime. If I'm going out on a date, boom, perfect jean on there. If I'm doing anything, want to look nice, gotta wear the perfect jean. I'm gonna have an audition here in August, beginning of August, Little Shop of Horrors, and you better believe I'll be wearing that pair of perfect jeans to help me feel confident and get ready to sing "Oh Suddenly Seymour" to the best of my ability. So it's finally time to stop crushing your balls in uncomfortable jeans by going to theperfectjean.nyc. Our listeners get 15% off their first order plus free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges when you use code RVD15 at checkout. That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectjean.nyc with promo code RVD15. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that One of a Kind sent you. Fuck your khakis and get the perfect jean, all right?
Dominic back again here, RVDTV.com, One of a Kind with RVD. Special episode we got going on here. And hey, we got a special night going on here. It's IWC Always Ready. And I'm happy to have with me here somebody that's always ready here, Mr. Jay Bev. Just getting pretty much started in the business. But Jay, talk about yourself. What do you think about RVD overall as a star and how he's influenced you early on?
I can tell you right now, the whole freaking show motivated the man they call Jay Bev with how he showed me that there are no limits in professional wrestling. He was one of the smaller guys, the high-flying guys that showed you could be still the quickest, not necessarily the strongest, but you could still shock the world of itself by bringing a WWE championship in the ECW. I mean, the dude was revolutionary through and through.
Right. And talk about who you were an early fan of, too, who really influenced you.
Who really influenced myself was Bryan Danielson. Ever since 2010, when he was just that little scrawny, I don't drink soda, I'm vegan only, winning the United States Championship at the time that he did, followed him the rest of the way through, world championship after yes movements. He was the pinnacle of truly what I wanted to be one day.
We'll talk about how you got into this business, too, a little bit. You're from the area, but what really sparked you to go, I want to go to wrestling school and try my hand at professional wrestling?
So in high school, I was a little bit of an amateur wrestler myself, a little bit in the freestyle.
What weight class?
At the time, I was 145. 145. So before I packed a little bit more of the muscle right there. But yeah, 3 years out of that, doing so much wrestling on a canvas with no ropes, finally started training in a year and a half, training with the squared circle, the ropes all around to paint whatever Jay Bev really wanted. Especially with IWC and the upper class. We're painting whatever picture we want here.
We'll talk about upper class a little bit. You're teaming up with Oliver Gray, and you guys have been on a bit of a run. How's it been early on for you, just being in a tag team, not being singles, but being in a tag team, like starting off your kind of career?
Well, to shout out my tag team partner, he is certainly undeniable. That is for sure. And it is an undeniable fact that we will be future IWC tag team champions. It will come at a time when we determine it. We pick our opportunity, and we will take that opportunity to become tag team champions one day. As of now, we gotta get our feet in the water. We have to show what we can do to get to that title picture one way or another.
In wrestling today, what's really been intriguing you, whether it's a storyline or a superstar character, wrestler? Is there anybody that really stands out to you right now that you're really digging their work? Maybe from your own personal standpoint of what you can take from out into the ring, or just somebody that's really just, hey man, that guy or gal's really caught my eye?
Ooh, that's a very good question. With the business right now?
Yeah, in the business right now.
Ooh, I actually have to go with the third or second generation superstar, I forget now, Braun Breaker. That dude is a world champion in the making. He did it on NXT. He did it in the Indies. He can do it in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, and hopefully our styles can clash and I take on the big dog one time and many more.
I like it. All right, plug your stuff. How do they follow you on all the social media aspects?
So on Instagram, it ain't too hard to find your boy. JBev, one word, _ indie, as I am the greatest independent around this arena,
that works.
around internationally.
Yeah.
On Facebook, it's just JAYBEV, and you get to see the brightest star in the making.
I like it, Jay. Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Right, Dominic DeAngelo, one of a kind with RVD, special episode this week. RVD's on the road, so I figured why not get a little bit of the independent wrestling mind of what people feel about RVD, ECW, Paul Heyman, the legacy of it all, and what it means to pro wrestling and what it means to them. Who better to start off with? My degenerate brother, the IWC high stakes champion. That's International Wrestling Cartel champion, Marcus DeAngelo. Marcus, thanks for doing it.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Dominic. Hello, everybody. And that's right, your favorite podcaster who just became your favorite wrestler. I'm not going to do the full thing in character. I know we're here to talk about Rob, and the thing that always sticks out for me when it comes to Rob Van Dam, and I always think about when it comes to him, is that his ability, his look, and the entire package of Rob Van Dam, his moveset, his look, his promo ability, his in-ring presence, everything that combines to make Rob Van Dam, I think if WWE treated him a little bit differently, not that they treated him poorly, he was former WWF champion, but if they treated him a little bit differently, I think that he could have made like a Shawn Michaels, Johnson, Steve Austin. Like, you want to talk about marketable? It's Rob Van Dam. I don't think I've ever seen a more marketable professional wrestler, somebody who really represents what this business is all about. So I'm just happy I get to be on Rob Van Dam's podcast, not Dominic DeAngelo's podcast.
Hey,
I don't give a shit.
No, nobody gives a shit about me.
No, I'm just playing. Thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
Well, no, I think like if WWE embraced Rob who he was, like the identity of who he was as a person already, like that, could have been like way more elevated.
It's like I don't even think I give enough descriptors. You know what I mean? Like there's so much that goes into what he was as a wrestler, and maybe top of the list is the thing I didn't even mention, which is like how he's able to relate to the common man.
Right.
It's dude, the full package as a professional wrestler. If you haven't seen a lot of Rob's stuff, I mean, go back and watch literally as much of it as you can. I certainly do as a professional wrestler. One of the best to ever do it. I'm glad he's working with my brother here.
Well, we were WCW kids. How do you think? What would you have done if Rob was in ECW? WCW. Sorry, how would you have handled him? We used to do a show called WCW Rewritten, where Marcus would literally write the show and rebook everything in WCW. If you were to put Rob Van Dam in that, how would you handle it?
Well, I don't know if you knew about this, but he was like backstage at Nitro back in like 1997.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Okay, like that's cool as shit to me. The idea that they got that close to having Rob Van Dam be part of that product. I don't know that I trust WCW would have treated it in the right way, but if they had, I mean, just imagine the possibilities. Not just him working with the top guys, but, and by the way, I think that he could have a capable match with anybody. Hogan, the Giants, anybody on the roster, I think he could have had a great match with. But like, then you start to get into like the Eddie Guerreros, the Dean Malenkos, some of the luchadors that were present in WCW at the time, like Psychosis. Like, imagine the matches that they could have had on that stage, WCW, TNT, Rob Van Dam. If treated properly, it should elevate any single promotion.
100%. What you were big? Well, we were kind of like we watched. It felt very underground watching ECW as kids.
It did.
Even though it was like CNN, so it was available. But like at that juncture, it was like, oh, this stuff is dead. We kind of tiptoed around the parents.
Yeah, no, it's, I mean, I remember we had the action figures of a lot of the guys, even though we were kind of watching it here and there. It's just like, cool, they had cool action figures. But it's like, you know, it didn't quite paint the picture for our parents of what that company was all about. It's just, to them, it's just wrestling toys. In my mind, I'm like barbed wire, fire, going through tables, like, you know, crazy spots. So yeah, it's, and dude, like, how cool ECW was, it's still really evident today. Like, they've still got such a cult following. People who go back and watch that stuff and take from it nowadays. Like wrestlers I know that go back and watch it to use some of the stuff that they see. It's just, man, some of the best stuff ever done in wrestling.
Marcus, you were at Sabu's last match.
Yeah.
Talk about that experience. You kind of garnered from the GCW like too at that show, but Sabu's legacy.
It was cool, man. It was really cool to, I mean, just alone getting to say I was there for Sabu's last match is really cool. But on top of that, it's like the environment, the atmosphere, the reaction from everybody there to what was going on in the ring. It felt like going back in time and going to ECW.
Did it feel like Camber's kind of
Yes, yeah, that's a good way of putting it. It felt like being in that setting. Back in the time of it, like, you know, we had the cool moment when Sandman came out and like his music was playing and he's coming through the crowd. It was like a very one night stand type moment that they were kind of replicating, and it's cool, man, because like there's a lot of talent in GCW that would have been well. Like, I think that Paul Heyman would have been interested in like an Atticus program. Yeah, it's like there's like a lot of really talented people on the card, and yeah, dude, it was. I feel blessed to have been there. It was a really cool shot of us. We were up in like one of the balconies, and Sabu was making his entrance, and the shot of Sabu's entrance from way up high, you can see us, like our group of guys up on their balconies. I'm gonna like print that photo and have it hung up in like my man cave. It's just like cool to say like I was there for that moment, and dude, Sabu came out and gave it everything. What a way to go out.
You never got to interact with him.
I've been around him a couple of times, but certainly like I didn't get to communicate with him the way he did.
Yeah. No, it was great. It's sad. That was it. Man, what an atmosphere that was for everybody. For him, it was just super cool. That Pearl, this is called Pearl. Martin, you happen to interact with a few ECW backstage, but it's also in the ring too. Talk about that.
Well, like the coolest thing probably for me was that last November I made my debut at here with International Wrestling Cartel in this building at Winner Takes All. And what's cool is Tommy Jr. is over there. And I spoke to Tommy Jr. before on my podcast with Jake Roberts, Snake Pit. He filled in for Jake. And so, you know, Tommy and I knew each other. And he saw me and he was like, hey, so you're debuting tonight? I'm like, yeah. And he was like, well, I'll watch your match. And so the coolest thing ever as a professional wrestler just debuted, I went and had my match. I came back to the curtain, shook some hands, and the first person I had an in-depth conversation with was Tommy Dreamer. And he watched my match, and he gave me an unbelievable assessment, like a lot to think about after I had the first match. It's like, it felt like what a blessing is somebody who's getting into professional wrestling to be able to get that kind of immediate feedback. I just got out of the ring.
It was literally it happened.
I'm all covered in sweat, and instantly I'm talking to Tommy Dreamer about what he just saw. So that was really cool. Recently I was in a Royal Rumble with Imagine Wrestling out of Altoona. You can find them on YouTube. Go out your way to check them out. They do a cool product. And Shane Douglas was in it, and I took a bump from Shane and got thrown over, which is cool because again we had those ECW figures as a kid. My favorite of those figures was Shane Douglas. I love that figure. So like it was cool seeing him and getting to work with him. And then I think it was after. No, it was before. I was in a show with you in Indiana, and Rhino was there, and he watched our match and gave me some feedback. He gave you some feedback.
Yeah, he gave me feedback too. It's kind of neat. First time I ever managed, go backstage, and the first Marcus speaks to an ECW guy first time ever, and then first time ever for me, I speak to a guy, W guy.
Yeah, it was a cool moment. I mean, all those guys are just so down to earth and giving. You know, you always hear about giving back into business. Those guys are doing it. Make no mistake about it. That, like, are they coming and getting a booking? Yes, of course they are. But they're not just here to like show up and put on their gear and work a match. Like they're giving back to the business. They're interacting with people while they're here. They're spreading their knowledge, and it's cool because it kind of feels like you've heard of like a coaching tree in the NFL. It kind of feels like that with ECW, where it's like you're getting to take a little bit from these guys, and it's like some of the stuff that Tommy Dreamer told me in that match, I'm still using now when I get to the wrestling ring. So it's very, very blessed and fortunate to be able to interact with stuff like that.
Do you have a particular favorite, like you said, that really stands out to you, or like even just like a star, or kind of thing like that?
I don't know if I'm going to call it a favorite moment, but I will call it the most identifiable moment for me with ECW, a moment that I think really kind of sums up exactly what they were, and that's the moment when Bam Bam Bigelow eats the spike guns from the ring, like into the crowd, because it's like, that, to me, that's what ECW was. It's like some big stars, some really crazy moments, a lot of crowd interaction, and that's kind of sums up what they were about and why they got as they did.
Well, that's the perfect implementation too of ECW. Is like you have those newer stars, that underground vibe, but then you have an established star like Bam Bam Bigelow coming in there, Terry Funk coming in there,
Sid Vicious, maybe Stop,
Rick Rude,
the Bushwhackers. Like it was just Scott Hall.
Yeah, no man, that was a big market. But who else was there? There's somebody else that probably like crazy. Jake Roberts.
Yeah, was there. Like, just so cool that they had that kind of crossover. I would have loved to have seen Hacksaw in that setting. Like Jim Duggan when he was working with me. Like, I was sick of that. But yeah, it's, that's what I love about ECW. You just kind of never, it was unpredictable. And the more you watch wrestling, the more you're like, I see what they're doing. I know what's about to happen. You kind of guess it most of it. With ECW, it was like, I have no idea what's going to, like, is John Cena going to show up at this show? You know what I mean? Like, you just have no idea. So it was really cool. It was a cool period of time to be a wrestling fan.
All right, if you insert yourself back in the ECW, do you think you could have survived?
I think so. Look, I'm not going to stand here and pretend like I'm some fucking hard and tough as nails guy. But like, if you take a close look at my face, I'm pretty marked up. I just worked for the past 2 days. And that's like a lot of bumps. And took a couple, got snugged up a little bit a few times. So it's like, look, I'm not afraid of contact, or else I wouldn't be interested. So yeah, man, if I ever got an opportunity to take a time machine, and Paul Heyman was ready to put me with Sandman, and I got to go out there and get my ass beat by him, all right, I'll do it. It'll be fun.
Would that be your opponent of choice? Like to make the most money?
I think he'd pair up really well with my character. I'm like this cocky podcast who's kind of using my connections to get ahead. And he's just like this white collar drunk dude who's like gonna fuck me up with his stick. Yeah, dude, I think that's what they would give the people what they want to see.
Speaking of stick, why don't you try Blue Chew, promo code RVD?
No, you promo code Snake.
Speaking of which, Marcus, why don't you plug some of this stuff?
Yeah, look, all the sponsor stuff aside, you'll hear enough of that if you ever listen to my wrestling promos. Yeah, you got to check me out on the Snake Pit with Jake Roberts. You can find it on YouTube or in the podcast app. I also do a podcast with Ted DiBiase called Everybody's Got a Pod. Ted is great, awesome storyteller. We want to talk about a history of professional wrestling. Ted DiBiase has got one like nobody else, second generation wrestler. Mom and dad so check that out. Everybody's Got a Pod. Yes, very well known. So Everybody's Got a Pod on the podcast app or on YouTube. And on that YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Golden Network. That's the only place you're going to find my other podcast with Jim Duggan. It's called The Hacksaw Hour. And you want to talk about fun and engaging? That's probably the best review podcast that I do. Really, I don't think we always see negativity for stuff that we put out online. I don't think I've ever seen any negativity for my podcast with Jim. Everybody who listens to that podcast loves it, and give it a listen. You'll find out why. Jim is like super engaging. He remembers literally everything. Like I can ask him about any subject, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I remember that day." Like at one point, he did a Slim Jim challenge, it was a one-off on WCW Saturday night. It was a Slim Jim challenge against Paul Orndorff. And I was like, I wonder if Jimmy remembers this. I brought it up. Not only do you remember it, you remember like some of the crazy stuff that happened during that match. And like gave me great details. Yeah, please go check out my podcast. Subscribe to the channels, that'll help me out. And stay tuned, because I'm an active wrestler. I got a lot of stuff going on, so big things coming up, and I'm hoping I can keep climbing, dude.
You got some other fun stuff coming to
Oh yeah, I do. I'm gonna kayfabe it for the moment, but it's coming soon. So that YouTube channel has got really cool content that you're not gonna find anywhere else. It's an idea that I had a while back, and all of the gear is now fully in motion. So stay tuned. It's gonna be a lot.
You're in your wrestling prime, via age. What do you recommend to people? Or a younger person.
Anybody who wants to get into wrestling, first and most important thing is find a reputable place like IWC. They've got ICWA, INC Wrestling Academy, which is where I train. You want to talk about reputable, know the business. They're in. So if you're in the Pittsburgh area, if you're in Ohio, West Virginia, if you're anywhere near here and you're where you train, do it. This is where you want to train to become a professional wrestler. The other thing I would recommend is don't worry so much about the moves. The moves are cool, and you'll get to the moves. The most important thing, and this is not just for me, this is the advice that Jim Duggan gives to everybody. It's real. The most important thing that you can do is figure out who your character is. What is your gimmick? If you have a strong, identifiable character and gimmick, you can make money.
You carried a hacksaw for years on it. I mean, 2x4. They okay.
Yeah, dude.
And make it work.
I just did a seminar yesterday with EC3, and actually Hacksaw was one of the names that came up because he was saying, describe wrestlers in like a few words. So like Sandman, he said, "You're a guy with a stick," and that's the right way to do it. When it was Jim Duggan, I think he said like Patriot who carries a 2x4, and it's like that's all you really need. Like the idea being, like when I say that to you, like hey, there's a wrestler, here's the gimmick, Patriot that carries a 2x4, like. What's he gonna do with that? Or like drunk guy with a stick, he's probably gonna hit somebody with it. You know, like it's literally as simple as that. Get yourself over that way, and you can have a career.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, dude. Thanks.
See you tonight.
Thanks for having me. I'll see you in like a minute.
Yeah.
All right.